who's calling the shots now? It's very clear, no? Pati rin dun sa ano no, sa libro ni that's why Attorney Vic was should I say he was defeated in the palace. Kasi sa libro ni Attorney Vic, ang kwento niya dun kasi, ang stand niya all along is that my boss is Bongbong, I'm going to follow Bongbong. But the people around BBM is the one pressuring BBM to decide a certain way. Until na na figure out nito nila Lisa, nila Tambi na okay, so since pinapadaan lahat ni Bongbong kay Vic, we have to remove Vic. And they were successful in doing so. So basically, ano siya talagang klaro na the one who's calling the shot in Malacanang is not BBM. But it doesn't mean Bongbong na hindi ka namin sisingilin dito. In fact, ikaw talagang sinisingil namin dito. Na-imagine ko nga yung yung conversation dito sa, di ba 3 beses nagpalit ng PNP chief sa Davao. 3 beses. Sabi ni Bongbong, ay, kailangan natin palitan yung kasi hi Direk, hello, this government is on autopilot, yun, sabi. Na-imagine ko lang yung conversation, kuya, parang, ay, ang tawag dito? Ano na natin yan? Kasi, kailangan na para makakilos tayo ng mabuti sa Davao. Kailangan, palitan na natin yung mga tao dyan. Sige, give me the sagot ngayon tong si Lisa, consider it done. Consider it done. Ganyan. Okay, PNP chief, who's the PNP chief na yun? Marbil. PNP chief Marbil, get me the best and the brightest policemen that can be transferred to Davao. Yung magagaling, yung mga talaga. Bigyan mo ako ng mga listahan, yun ang ililipat natin sa Davao. Okay, ma'am. Ito po ang listahan. Tapos binigay yung listahan. So nandun sila Lito Patay, sila yung mga pinag-
Butil, yeah.
Sila Butil, ganyan. Hindi, di ba si Lito Patay muna di ba siya yung unang nilagay doon. So paglagay sa kanya doon, yan ma'am, magaling talaga yan. Sige po, okay, sige, lagay na natin yan. I-transfer na natin doon. Pagkatapos doon naglagay na nila, na nakita nila, ay, si Lito Patay, ay, ito pala yung binitbit ni PRRD para sa war on drugs. Magaling pala to! Hindi ganun galing ang tinutukoy ko! Palitan yan! Ako, sinabi ko na to nung nandun ako sa kasama ko nang mag-live si Attorney Glenn Chong, the mere fact that our OFW can actually go out, shell out some of their resources just to express their grievances against the government, ay kakaiba na itong galit na nararamdaman ng mga OFW natin. Diba? So, proud ako doon sa sa mga OFW natin na nandun for showing up and for really fighting for what they believe in. Andun sila talagang laban na laban sila and they really want to to express their disgust, yung kanilang disappointment dito sa gobyernong ito kasi our OFW in Hong Kong risk so much for for a very little gain. Kasi hindi naman sila yayaman pag nag-Hong Kong sila. Hindi naman nila kayayaman yan ng bonggang-bongga. Hindi rin naman bonggang-bongga yung mga work nila doon, di ba? But nevertheless, yung nakikita pa rin nila na yung mapalayo sa pamilya at magtrabaho sa Hong Kong is still a better choice than to stay in the Philippines. Di ba? And syempre, isa sa mga naging pangako ng Pangulo ni BBM noon is how to bring our OFW back to the country. Of course, hindi naman ako hindi ko naman sinasabi ito dahil nanunumbat ako kay BBM na dapat magawa niya na yun in span of 2 years. It's not like that. Simple lang yung hinihingi ng mga OFW Habang nagpapaka-kuba kami dito sa pagtatrabaho, habang malayo kami sa pamilya namin at habang bonggang-bonggang sakripisyo yung ginagawa namin dito, ma-assure lang namin na yung mga pinaghihirapan namin dito ay hindi mauuwi sa wala dahil yung mga anak namin ay hindi mapapatay ng adik, hindi mag-aadik, 'di ba? Hindi mapapariwara ang buhay. Things that can be assured by the government. Especially yung drugs, 'di ba? Especially yung drugs. So ramdam na ramdam ko yung hinaing talaga ng mga OFW nung nandun ako sa Hong Kong, no? At sa mga nakausap kong iba ring mga OFW na hindi naman sila taga Hong Kong Hindi sila taga Hong Kong, pero nagpunta sila sa Maisog, Hong Kong, nagpalista at nag-join ng event kahit hindi sila taga Hong Kong. I mean, this is ano ha, talagang this is just a participant coming from the Philippines na nagpunta doon, nag-join at gustong makiparticipate sa mga ganitong klaseng event. 'Di ba? Pag ang mga tao ginagamit na nila ang mga resources nila to fight the government, to express their grievances and ano, 'di ba? Iba na yung galit, ibang level na yung galit. 'Di ba? O ngayon kayo kung kayong mga Ensayvovo vlogger, kung mas pipiliin ninyo na tsaka-tsakahin yung fact na gumagastos yung mga tao para mag-gather sa mga ganitong klaseng event, you're free to do so. Walang problema. But take note, willing na pong gumastos ang mga tao para magsama-sama at magreklamo sa gobyerno at ma-express nila yung mga gusto nilang sabihin laban sa gobyernong 'to. Gusto niyong tingnan yung dahil tsatsaka-tsakahin niyo na anyway, 'wag nating istorbohin ang kalaban 'pag sila'y nagkakamali, hayaan na lang natin sila. Sabi ni Jonathan Janyola, Ma'am Joey, Tagum City, mag-replay lang mi mamaya, work pa, like lang muna. Ayan. Maraming salamat. Oy, meron na kayong governor ulit. May governor na kayo ulit, 'di ba? Wala na silang makitang dahilan para i-suspend uli si Gov. Hubahib. Ayan. Diyos me, nakakaloka yung mga kaganapan today. Sabi ni Isgado Bidayan, pinadalan ako ng book. Ang ganda ng book ni attorney. Oo, sabi ko kay attorney Vic eh. Di ba nandun ka nung nag-live kami sa Hong Kong? Di ba, Dayan? Nandun ka, sabi ko, attorney Vic, alam mo, nakikipagbardahan yan si Dayan. Nung kasalukuyan kang inaaway ni TP, nakikipagbardahan yan si Dayan sa TikTok. Ayan. Nakakaloka. Mga anak ni Chris, may regalo ni Lisa. Sabi ni Angry Ranger, ni isang napangako sa kampanya hindi natupad, nabaligtad pa nga ang mga magagandang nagawa ni Digong. At sinisiraan pa nga si Digong sa mga nagawa niya. True. True. Ako talaga, all Gurgur roads, sinabi ko na to before, all Gurgur roads lead to Duterte. Sige, magchikahan na tayo. No? Magmo-monologue lang ako ng ng mga saglit lang. Sasabihin ko lang yung mga topic na pag-usapan natin ngayon. And then, maya-maya magpapaakyat ako. Ayan. So, this past few days, ang daming mga pangyayari. Naglabas sila ng, ang pangalan nito? Naglabas sila ng 10 million peso. Bali 16 million daw eh. 16 million kay Pastor Kibuloy, tapos tigwa 1 million doon sa mga kasama niya na makakapagturo kung nasan yung whereabouts nila. So if they would be able to provide information leading to the arrest of Pastor Kibuloy and 6 others, may reward. May reward. Tapos, ang sabi ni Benor Abalos, yung merong mga private individuals daw na lumapit. May mga private individuals daw na lumapit. Any idea of the person friend ni Abalos who gave 10 million bounty for Pastor Q? MC daw initials associated with an ex-Supreme Court Justice also with active connection with INC. That's according to Ka Eric. I have no idea, Quincy. Ayun. Pero I doubt its legality eh. Kasi hindi, pwede ba yun? Pwede ba yun? Unang-una, technically, hindi pa fugitive of justice si Pastor Kibuloy. Kasi meron pa siyang mga actions before the court that are needed to be resolved. Wala pa dun si hindi pa siya fugitive of law, technically. So para saan yung parang leading to his arrest in NMA? And I think the arrest itself, the warrant of arrest itself are being questioned right now. 'Di ba? So parang marami talagang kagaguhan na nangyayari dito kay Pastor Kibuloy. Sa totoo lang I think yung kanilang determination to catch Pastor Kibuloy is a proof na meron talaga silang pakay kay Pastor Kibuloy. Grabe yung nila yung talagang gustong-gusto talaga nilang maaresto si Pastor Kibuloy, talagang gumamit ng SWAT, merong pa-bounty, 'di ba? May pa-bounty, merong mga ganyan-ganyan. sobrang grabe yung smear campaign na pinapakalat against KOJC and Pastor Kibuloy. Pastor Kibuloy, kakaiba talaga. Sobrang nakakaloka yung yung tindi ng effort to really to really bring Pastor Kibuloy down. And sa totoo lang, ako, the more that they do this against Pastor Kibuloy, the more I am convinced na meron silang malalim na pakay kay Pastor Kibuloy. And like I said, all gurgur roads lead to Duterte. All gurgur roads lead to Duterte. Ayun. Yung fact na gustong-gusto nilang kamkamin lahat ng yaman ni Kibuloy, di ba? Ano kinalaman ng yaman ni Kibuloy dun sa mga kaso niyang sa mga human trafficking, sa mga rape cases na sinasabi niyong ginawa niya, di ba? Sabi ni Goldie Dizon, they want his millions. They want his billions. Diba? And of course, if they're going to emasculate Pastor Kibuloy, PRRD would lose a very loyal, very dedicated supporter. Diba? Kasi parehas ng politics yan si Pastor at saka si PRRD Diba? Ganun lang kasimple. And the more that they are after Pastor Kibuloy, the more I am convinced that this government has different set of motivation para hulihin siya. Hindi lang to basta law enforcement. 'Di ba? Kung ganito talaga ang inyong SOP sa paghabol ng isang quote-unquote kriminal, bakit hindi nyo ginagawa yan sa mga putang inang smuggler? Bakit hindi nyo ginagawa yan kay Michael Ma na napangalanan na sa Kongreso? Bakit hindi nyo ginagawa sa mga drug lords? Sinong drug lords na yung ginurgur ng bonggang-bongga dito? That I don't understand. So parang obvious na obvious na papunta talaga kayo doon. Papunta talaga kayo diyan sa na yan. Gusto nyo itumba si Pastor Kibuloy, kunin ang yaman niya dahil Pastor Kibuloy is very crucial to political success of PRRD. 'Di ba? Gusto niya siyang i-emasculate, gusto niya siyang putulan ng pakpak para mawala ng isang loyal at dedicated na supporter si PRRD. Diba? You know, the media the media organization that was created by KOJC through Pastor Kibuloy is actually very, very crucial. Ngayon, nare-realize na natin, especially na naglabasan tong General Dynamics Information Technology. Okay? Simula nang lumabas to, ngayon na natin naiintindihan kung bakit napaka-importante na ang ating media ay hindi dapat nahahaluan ng interest ng investment ng mga foreigners. Kasi if the foreigners would have interest in our media organization, mas madali tayong ma-manipulate as a nation. 'Di ba? Ganun lang kasimple. Ayan, gising si Kuyang Ibi. Gising na gising si Kuyang Ibi.
Hi, Joey.
Alam mo, tama talaga si Kuyang Ibi sa sa Hong Kong
At next time.
next time.
Okay ba audio ko? Okay ba audio ko?
Yes. Okay, yes, Kuyang Ibi, ayan.
Okay.
Kumusta?
Well, I don't know if you've read my post. Kaka-post ko lang about 15 minutes ago. I'm really pissed. With this American shit going on, no? Gusto mo i-narrate ko na o baka may tatapusin ka pa?
Sige. Teka lang, Kuya, before we go there, no. Kasi kanina nga sinasabi ko, no, na grabe itong yung now we realize how important it is. Yung ginagawa ni Pastor Kibuloy, sa totoo lang, na meron siyang media organization run by Filipinos, how important that kind of endeavor para sa nation building. Kasi kapag ang media mo napasukan ng foreign interest, now we have General Dynamics Information Technology. At alam natin, na-reveal na kung paano binababoy nito ang public consciousness ng mga Pilipino. 'Di ba? Not only that, of course, dati may yung Umidyar, yung nakakapasok sa Rappler, yung mga bakas-bakas sa yung mga PDRs ng GMA at saka ng ABS-CBN, in which later on they decided to cut it off. You know, these are ways on how they can penetrate to our local media organization. And when foreign interests are inserted doon sa ating mga media organization, nabababoy po talaga ang public consciousness. Alam na natin kung ano lang yung babalita nila, alam na natin na gagawa lang talaga sila ng kwento in order to dilute the minds, to pollute the minds of the Filipino people, ano? And so, like I said, ngayon na sobrang ginigipit nila si Pastor Kibuloy, the more na ginigipit nila si Pastor Kibuloy at ang KOJC, the more I am convinced that they are really after something that is, bigger than what it seems to be. Hindi lang to basta law enforcement, Kuyang EB eh.
Oh, it's no longer law enforcement, Joey. No. It went past law enforcement the moment they insisted on serving the warrant without the resolution first of the pending motion for reconsideration filed by Attorney Torion, and then using a very intimidating number of force to serve such a warrant, no? So it went over the law enforcement, no, quote unquote narrative of this administration, especially if you couple it, if you contextualize it with the now just the recent appointment of OICs in Davao City's police office, that in just 12 hours, tatlong OIC ang pinalitan at in-reappoint sa pinalitan. One being one being in the shoulders at just over an hour. Akala ko pinaka-short tenure na yung isa na 3 or 4 hours. May isa pa pala, isang oras lang. Putang ina. What the fuck is going on?
Totoo. Sabi ni Brian Rivera, Kuyang EB, pagulungin yung Mamang Hustisya, harapin niya ang kaso. So si Dili mga hinaharap. Brian Rivera, ganito kasi pagtatanga-tanga ka. Hinaharap po ni Pastor Kibuloy yung kaso niya. Okay? Si Pastor Kibuloy ngayon, hindi mo siya nakikita, pero hindi ibig sabihin nun, wala siyang presence sa korte. Yung warrant of arrest niya mismo, kino-question niya.
Right.
Okay? Kino-question niya. At marami pa siyang mga motion na pending ngayon sa korte.
Right.
So ngayon, ang tanong dito, Brian, bakit gigil na gigil kayo na arestuhin agad si Pastor Kibuloy when in fact, the fact of arrest is actually being questioned sa korte? Ngayon, Brian Rivera, kasi hindi ka familiar siguro sa mga sa mga legal processes. Marami pong nangyari na ganito. Na meron pong mga warrant of arrest, kine-question sa korte, ganyan-ganyan. Pag po kasi ikaw, meron ka pang action na pending sa korte, at yung presensya mo naman ay nandun, at yung fact of arrest mo mismo is being questioned, hindi ka pa fugitive doon. Kasi nag-a-avail ka pa ng remedies mo sa korte. So, yung sinasabi mo na harapin niya ang kaso niya, hinaharap po ni Pastor. Yun nga explanation ng kanyang abogado.
Tama,
Hinaharap nila. Ngayon, pag ignorant ka kasi, sasabihin mo, ba't hindi niya harapin? Ba't hindi? Hinaharap po niya. Ang hindi maintindihan, kung bakit may mga actions pa at meron pang mga remedies na ina-avail sa korte, gigil na gigil kayo na tugisin yung tao.
There you go. And the most glaring example of that strategy was the case of former Senator Ping Lacson. No?
Correct.
And then again, we are only a fugitive of justice when you are convicted. Pastor Kibuloy is still an accused or is a suspect. So therefore, the correct legal term for him is suspect at large or accused at large. So, and then Brian,
and technically fugitive will not apply to him kasi still availing of the remedies available to a suspect. So, ibig sabihin,
yun na nga yung ikinakaano ko dun sa kay Edling Gaunon nung pilit nilang i-corner si Attorney Torion on the definition of a fugitive. A fugitive, kahit anong diksyonaryo yan, a fugitive is a man who is convicted of a crime na tumakas, no? Sa kanyang sentensya or sa kanyang pagkaka in prison, no? But Joey, before I forget, no, idadagdag ko rin sa sinabi mo doon kay Brian. Do you know why De Lima chose to be arrested instead of availing certain avenues that Senator Ping Lacson availed and now Pastor Kibuloy also is availing? Because Leila De Lima then was playing to the victim card, the victim narrative. 'Di ba? So kung meron lang sanang cross doon at ipapako siya, magpapapako 'yun to paint the picture that she was a victim. Okay? So even if sa panahon ni De Lima, it went through the true course of the justice system, the judicial system, she didn't avail of all the extra available options that she had on offer because she chose to be arrested, no? If only to paint, yun na nga, the victim narrative, no? Which actually fooled a few, but not us, no? Maybe Brian was fooled into thinking na na ganun ang ano ni De Lima. So, yun nga, Joey, no? Nakakabahala na talaga, no? If you have this, oh.
Sabi ni Brian, sadyang abusado lang sa batas kasi mayayaman ang mga ito. Marami silang pera, di gamitin nila, 'di ba? Sabi niya gano'n. Ginagamit na nga, kaya nga nagbayad siya ng abogado eh.
Stupid.
But you cannot deprive him of the remedies available to Pastor Kibuloy. Ang
Just because
sinasabi ni Brian, wag sundin ang proseso, wag respetuhin ang mga karapatan ni Pastor Kibuloy bilang suspect sa isang kaso. Ang gusto mo, arestuhin na lang siya agad. At wala kang pake na ginagamitan siya ng sakaterbang SWAT sa pag-aaresto when in fact, the fact of arrest is still being questioned before the court. And all other remedies are still being availed of before the court. Ang sinasabi ni Brian, ay i-disregard natin yung mga yon at arestuhin na siya. Hindi po ganun ang hustisya, Brian.
Yes. And now, to put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, pinatungan pa ng 10 million reward na hindi pa naman siya convicted. Secondly, ang ginamit are funds from a friend, from a private person, which is actually a violation of the law. Because there are specific requirements, no, for reward money, and even the prerequisites of a certain suspect na pwede mong pagpatungan yan, no? May mga sinasabing proportionality of the crime, tapos yung basta marami yan, no? You cannot put a 10 million bounty to a man who did not commit a crime. In fact, it's not yet proven to have committed those crimes, and those crimes actually do not merit such a magnitude of reward, and a reward that is coming from the private sector, which means it can also be some sort of bribery. Okay? Because if you bribe someone to do something that is not illegal, ibig sabihin, okay, you bribe someone para gawin ang isang bagay. Pero yung isang bagay na yon hindi naman illegal. For example, bibigyan mo siya ng 1,000 para mapadali yung pagpirma ng mayor sa iyong business permit. Legal naman yon, napirmahan sa mayor ang iyong business permit kasi complied ka. Gusto mo lang mapadali. Okay? So it was not illegal yung pagpapirma sa mayor. What is illegal is you bribe somebody or the mayor himself with that amount of money para mapirmahan siya yung business permit mo at mapabilis kaysa sa iba. So technically, it's the same, no? Kung titingnan mo ang nangyayari ngayon, no? So talagang, and then you have this, and then you have Bongbong Marcos, apparently furious, quote unquote daw, sa kanyang ambush interview, drilling down on Pastor Kibuloy, when in fact, he has a $330 million what do you call this? Contempt fine na has been suspended because he's elected into office, no? Which gives him some immunity of some sort. So, talagang makikita mo talaga, Joey, na itong administrasyon na to, number one, as I've said na, inulit to, paranoid na sila, no? And in fact, you know, clinically diagnosed na siguro ito sila na paranoid schizophrenia, no? Kung titingnan mo ano pinagagawa nila, no? That's one. Number two, you can now infer na talagang no one is in charge.
Yeah.
Sa ating gobyerno. Sa foreign policy, sa ating military, sa ating police, no? Sa ating justice system, no? So it's like ano bang tawag diyan? There's a lot of hands, no, trying to manipulate what's going on in this government. So talaga nakakabahala na talaga, no? Na talagang mapahamak na tayo what's going on right now.
Sabi ni Brian Rivera, sige, ano ba ang motion niya? Hindi naman po iisa ang kaso niya. Hindi rin naman iisa lang yung motion niya eh. Hindi rin lang naman iisa yung motion niya, Brian Rivera. Okay, since Brian Rivera, we are progressing with this kind of conversation. Would you like to go up?
Buti pa, umakyat na siya.
Would you like to go up?
Akyat ka na, Brian.
Ayan. Umakyat ka. So ngayon, since mukhang nagpa-progreso naman tong ano natin, but do you understand that if a person is trying to avail the remedies before the court, he cannot be considered as a fugitive of law. Okay? At ngayon, yung sinasabi mo na harapin niya ang kaso niya, ay hinaharap niya kasi nga nagkukuha siya ng nag-a-avail siya ng mga remedies before the court. So hindi mo pa pwedeng sabihin na hindi niya hinaharap yung mga kaso niya. Okay, ngayon, sinasabi mo, ano ba talaga ang motion niya? Sige, we can go back to that. Babalikan natin yung interview ni Ed Lingao at nung, you remember that interview? Yung nandun yung tatlong lalaki at isang babae? And Attorney Turuan? Yeah. Attorney Turuan actually enumerated the actions that they are doing right now.
Which is in fact, Joey, is still not being acted on by the DOJ.
Yes! Correct!
When it is constitutionally guaranteed and with all the other administrative circulars of the DOJ to resolve pending motions for an accused at the soonest instance. Isa yon sa pinaka-holy na right ng isang akusado. No? You cannot just trample upon those constitutionally guaranteed rights, Mr. Brian.
True. Ngayon, nakikita nyo kung bakit walang laman yung mga sinasabi nyo, harapin na lang. Kaya yung mga KOJC galit na galit eh. Yung may isang taga KOJC na nakita ko yung babae, si Ina Mortel yata yun.
Yung parang anchor ata yun, Ina Mortel, yes.
Yeah. And then sabi, ano na siya, yung emotional, yung mga taga KOJC kasi I can understand if they get so emotional because it's not just about their political stand, it's their church that's being attacked. Diba?
Yes.
So,
the most inviolable of all Joey, no? Is the freedom to worship and yung place of worship. It's guaranteed by the Constitution.
Yes.
Diba? Tapos ngayon, they are blaspheming it. They are defacing it. They are bastardizing it, no? I'm not a member of KOJC, no? I'm not a religious person. In fact, I'm an agnostic atheist, no? I don't believe in God. But I do respect people's belief, no? Whether you are INC, whether you are KOGC or the Roman Catholic Church, what we assail are policies that are inimical to the social structure, the social fabric that concerns us, no? So kung titingnan mo, kaya talagang sila nagiging emotional talaga sila.
Totoo.
Kasi their home, it's their one and only home.
Oo, totoo.
Spiritually and physically.
And so, tungan yung anchor nila, nakita ko lang sa newsfeed ko nagsasalita to si Miss Ina Mortel. Yung sabi niya, can you please stop saying na harapin na lang ni Pastor yung mga kaso, harapin nila, yung ganun. I perfectly understand that. At ito pa ulit-ulit ko sinasabi. Ikaw, Brian, can you guarantee that if Pastor Kibuloy is going to not avail yung mga remedies niya na available sa kanya and choose to present himself before this government, can you guarantee? Can you guarantee his safety? Can you guarantee that he's not going to be persecuted instead of being properly given what is due to him? Can you guarantee na hindi siya lalabisan ng gobyernong ito? Of course not. Why? Because this situation of KOJC and Pastor Kibuloy is no longer a legal process alone. It is a political a political battle as well. Diba?
Yes, makikita
mo yung political aspect dito dun sa mere legal process lang siya Ngayon, kung magagaranti mo sa akin that politics is not gonna play a role in this one, o di sige, Pastor Kibuloy, piliin mo na lang na But what happened to KOJC? What happened to SMNI? Their license were revoked. Out of the flimsiest reason, because of the flimsiest reason that they can
actually walang reason, Joey, until now. Yung frankisa nila nandyan. Yung kinancel is their permit to operate was cancelled by the NTC.
The NTC, correct.
Tapos pinuntahan nila para makipag-argue sila kasi quasi-judicial din yung NTC.
Yeah.
Gusto nila ng charge sheet so they can argue. Walang charges.
No. Yeah. And up until now, no action because that revocation of permit to operate was actually based on the fact na preventively suspend daw sila, tapos hindi raw nila sinunod. So that is why, yung preventive suspension mo nga, wala kang basis dun
Yes.
Doon sa preventive suspension. So ngayon, dahil hindi mo raw sinunod yung preventive suspension, nirevoke na nila yung yung permit to operate. No, you know, this is crazy, Kuyang! This is crazy! Wala nang justice na umiiral dito sa bansang to.
Yes, yes. That's why I'm really alarmed, no? And in fact, some of my lawyer friends are also very much alarmed, no? With what is going on. Because these people know the law, and they know that what this administration is doing actually is in violation of some of the most basic laws of the land. No? So talagang they are worried as well, no? Sa mga nangyayaring ito. Kasi nga, it will destabilize our judicial institutions, Joey. Ito delikado kasi. You destabilize the judicial institutions while also destabilizing our military and our police, no, hierarchy. Okay? It's one big powder keg that when lit will probably explode in such unimaginable proportions, no? At tayong mga ordinaryong Pilipino, tayo ang kawawa. To be honest, hindi sila mga mayayaman na nasa pwesto.
Sabi ni Brian Rivera, justice is for the rich only. No, mali ka. Justice is for those who know their rights. If you do not know your rights, justice is not gonna be served to you. Kaya hindi mo dapat fino-fault yung mga tao na alam nila yung karapatan nila. To a certain extent, if you are mayaman, then you can get a lawyer and your lawyer will articulate your rights before you. Diba? So in that sense, sabihin na natin merong factor yung yaman. May factor yung yaman. Pero ultimately, kapag alam mo ang karapatan mo, kaya mong ilaban yung hustisya, Brian Rivera. Pero ikaw kasi, hindi ganun yung ginagawa mo. Si Pastor Kibuloy, ina-avail lang niya yung mga karapatan na available sa isang suspected na individual. Pagkatapos sinasabi mo, harapin. Dahil ignorant ka, akala mo hindi niya hinaharap. Ngayon, Brian, dahil na-explain na namin sa'yo na hinaharap naman ni Pastor Kibuloy yung mga kaso sa kanya, would you be able to, at least admit na, hinaharap pala niya. Pag mayayaman, they can exhaust all the remedy. Is it their fault?
Ito na lang, Brian. Ito tanong ko.
If the remedy is legally available to you, is it the fault of the mayaman that they are doing that? Brian Rivera? It is provided for. Mayaman, mahirap ka, pwede mong i-avail yun.
Does it also mean, Brian?
Kasalanan mo yun.
Yeah. And does it also, if we go by Brian's logic, Joey, if we go by his logic, ibig sabihin, yung mga mayayaman, tulad ni Bongbong Marcos at ng gobyerno ng Amerika, talagang mapapahamak nila si Pastor Kibuloy kasi mas mayaman yung Amerika, mas mayaman si Marcos. Pero anong nangyari? Ito hindi rin alam ng mga kababayan nating iba, Joey, no? I-refresh lang natin nga yung kaso ni Kibuloy. Yung kaso ni Pastor sa Amerika was filed sometime in 2020 or 2021. Okay? Tapos 20 lawyers yung kay Attorney Kibuloy doon. For 4 times nag-request ang US DOJ ng postponement, hindi ang panig ni Kibuloy doon sa Amerika. Tapos, yung warrant of arrest ni Pastor Kibuloy, inunseal lang yan noong February this year lang, 2024. Anong significance nun? Ang significance nun, if you unseal a warrant in the US, it starts to turn the wheels of the extradition options of America. Pwede na nilang idunog sa Interpol at ma-red notice si Pastor Kibuloy. Tapos they can actually request na for extradition sa Amerika, sa Pilipinas dahil may extradition treaty naman tayo. Joey, hanggang ngayon wala pang extradition eh.
Correct.
Diba? Secondly, itong kaso na ito ngayon na may warrant of arrest si Pastor. Itong kaso na to is I think 2020 or 2019 or something like that sa Davao. It was dismissed by the Davao City Prosecutor's Office. It was only resuscitated. Last year ba ata or this year lang? Okay?
This year, I think, because they started hearing Pastor Kibuloy's case dun sa human trafficking and other cases na this year lang eh.
Yeah, which led to the one of the motions of Attorney Torion. Kasi the crime happened in Davao. Okay? The complaint was filed in Davao. However, the Davao City Prosecutor's Office in the resuscitation of this case, filed the criminal information, the complaint in Pasay City. That's why the Pasay City judge was the one who issued the warrant of arrest. It cannot be. sa sa
Mm.
sa ano ng DOJ at sa Office of the Prosecutorial Service. Kung saan yung
Mm.
jurisdiction mo, na nung nangyari yung krimen, doon ka mag-file. So,
Mm.
isa yun sa kinestion nila for motion for reconsideration ni Atty. Torion. Tapos hindi inaksyonan. Pinost talaga nila yung warrant of arrest. So, 'di ba? So,
And ano ha, yung warrant of arrest ni Pastor Kibuloy, a lot of lawyers are saying na may period kasi yung warrant of arrest Kuyang, may expiration yan. So hindi yan forever. Now once the period for that warrant of arrest is to be used expired, kailangan mag-issue ka ng alias warrant of arrest. Oo.
Yeah, alias warrant.
That wasn't followed also. That
Mm.
wasn't followed also.
Yes.
Ayun.
And even the manner of serving the warrants of arrest puts into question the constitutionality of the actions, no, of the police force, no, na nag-enforce no. In fact, meron pa nga mga allegations na may namatay doon sa ano, yung mga IP brothers and sisters natin doon, no. Parang ano din 'yon, no. May kinalaman din 'yon sa pag-implement ng pag-serve ng warrant of arrest na 'yon, no. So I mean, I really am very worried, no, Joey, no, na
Teka, saan namatay itong dalawang katutubo na ano?
Yes, yes. Because if they
Namatay
can do this,
during
if they can do this to Pastor Kibuloy, who is admittedly an influential and a very rich man, no? What's holding them back to do the same sort of thing to
sa
ordinary
mga
people
mas
like us?
maliliit, oo.
Yes, di ba? Yan ang hindi
Totoo.
nakikita ng mga tao tulad ni Brian.
Totoo. Ano ba naman yung agawan ng lupa yung mga ate sa Boracay, di ba?
Yun na nga eh.
Ano ba naman yun? Kung kaya nilang gawin to sa mga taong kagaya ni Pastor Kibuloy at yung mga kagaya ni Brian, na kung saan si Pastor Kibuloy ay obvious naman na ginugurgur. Tapos questionin mo pa yung kanyang yung kanyang posisyon at yung kanyang na wow, obvious na, Diyos ko po naman. Talaga ba yung mga lahat ng resources natin gagamitin natin para kay Pastor Kibuloy? Anong ginawa
Yun na nga
naman?
eh. Nasaan na yung mastermind ng alitagtag, di ba?
Correct. Well, I hope that they are going to do the same doon sa mga smugglers.
And isa pa, Joey, no, I noticed no doon sa mga posters nila, no, na yung reward na pinalabas ni Abalos nga. Yung 5 kasama ni Pastor, okay na lang si Pastor na pinakita yung mukha kasi public figure naman siya, no. Pero
Sabi
yung 5 akusado, Joey, hindi nila tinakpan yung mukha. Pero yung nahuli nilang 2 na suspect doon sa pagpatay ng Chinese nationals ata ba yun at saka Chinese American, nakatakip yung mukha. 'Di ba? So, yung mga kasamahan ni Pastor Kibuloy are ordinary people na nasa ano niya, sa worship team niya. Sa
Pero ano lang and these are all suspect, wala pang conviction tong mga
wala
to.
pang conviction, ha? Wala pang conviction.
Wala pang conviction tong mga to. Sabi ni Brian Rivera, sa tingin ko sabi ni Brian Rivera, sa tingin ko kahit balibalik rin yan, either exhaust the remedy, ganun pa rin yan. He has to face the court to get justice. Mali nga yung tingin mo, Brian, hindi ka naman nakikinig eh. Mali nga yung tingin mo.
Wala pang trial, Brian. Wala pang trial.
Walang babalik ka rin dito kasi nga ina-avail mo pa yung remedy. Diyos me, ano babalik ka rin mo doon?
Nasa information stage pa tayo, Brian. Nasa criminal complaint pa tayo,
Diyos
Brian.
ito, Brian, ang mag-explain sa'yo, yung practicing lawyer sa Pilipinas, yung abogadong nag-practice ng batas sa Pilipinas. Si Tita Eats. Go, Tita Eats.
Good morning. Ay, hindi na po ako lawyer, no? Pero meron naman po tayong nalalaman. Okay, so let's go back. Very basic po. Doon muna ako sa basic para sa mga katulad kung hindi naman Brian, isipin mo na lang, halimbawa, isa ka lang napagbintangang magnanakaw. Ninakaw mo isang, let's say soft drinks na lang sa kapitbahay. So tapos, ang nangyari ngayon, biglang may 2 batalyon ng sundalo na kumatok sa pinto mo. So, sasabihin mo, OA naman yan, di ba? Kasi ganun lang ginawa ko bakit ganun na? Tapos, ang laking media coverage. Parang, ang tawag doon is persecution na, no? You're not going through the process of prosecution. This is persecution. So, napakaliit na krimen o misdemeanor ang ginawa mo, and yet yung binigay na solusyon ay napaka-overkill. So, wala yung pinagkaiba sa overkill na ginawa kay Pastor. Because in this case, we are presumed equality before the law. So, kapag ginawa yan sa'yo, obvious na overkill. Kasi soft drinks lang ninakaw mo eh. Pero kay Pastor, in the same manner, the crime that were yet to be proven in court, ganun din ang in-apply. So, mayaman, mahirap, tatamaan ka kapag selective ang justice. So, tatamaan ka eh, mayaman o mahirap. So, tama rin si Sir AB na obvious naman yon na kung sa mayaman nagagawa yan, ano pa sa mahirap. So, let's just go back to the jurisprudence that started all this. Tulyaw case po ang referral, no? Reference natin, the Supreme Court jurisprudence was a decision made in the Tulyaw case. Yun ang ginamit ni Ping Lacson. Ang Tulyaw case po, malinaw yan, na isa yan sa mga remedies na gagamitin. You do not have to be in physical custody to continue the legal process. Yan
Yes.
po, ginagamit yan ng matatalinong mga tao, hindi ng mga nagtatago sa justice. Kahit ikaw, Brian, sumabit ka isang araw at kailangan mo maghanap muna ng remedy, pwede mo yang gawin. Hindi lang yan para sa mga mayayaman. Ang problema po, hindi yan naiintindihan ng karamihang tao. So, alam nyo na ngayon. So, always refer back to Tulyaw. Ask your lawyer, is it applicable to me? Ang lawyer po, sasabihin yan, I do not recommend for you to do it because fleeing the law, parang sasabihin ng regular na tao, guilty ka. Pero, bilang abogado mo, sasabihin ko sa'yo, may karapatan kang mamili ng mga steps na pwede mong gawin. And this is one of them. So, yes, you're partly right in saying he needs to also appear to get justice. But you cannot get there if step by step pa lang, meron ng obvious na steps against you obtaining it. Paano kang haharap doon kung alam mo na the law is the system is acting against you?
There you go.
Diba? How are you going to make sure that ikaw nga sumunod ka sa batas? Sila ba susunod sa batas? Okay, so there's no, kaya si Ping Lacson came back when it was clear, the air was clear, and he can fight head on and toe-to-toe. Ngayon, that's not the case. And if you have a good lawyer, hindi mo kasalanan yon if you have a good lawyer. Do they say justice is only for the rich? No. Justice is for those who know their right. So, yun ang pagkakaiba. So, hopefully, kahit konti po sa atin, no? Kasi somehow, may mga kamag-anak tayo na wag naman po natin silang sabihan na tumakas ka magtago. Hindi. Maghanap ka ng mabuting abogado
Correct.
who will defend you.
Oo, at alamin mo yung alamin mo yung options mo. Actually, I hope all of you remember what Tita Eats said, no? Na if you are in that situation, ang tanungin nyo sa abogado ninyo, ano po ba yung mga options ko? Yung Tulyaw case po ba applicable sa akin? Ano po ba ang mga, 'di ba? Yan yung tanungin ninyo, 'di ba? Yung nagigets ko naman na na in some sense, pag may pera ka, mas malaki yung chance na makuha mo yung justice. Why? Because you can afford to pay for a really good lawyer.
For a long time.
And you retain that very good lawyer for a long time until your case is done and over with, 'di ba? To a certain extent meron namang ganon. Pero ibig ko sabihin yung parang hindi ko magets yung yung drama kasi na hindi kasi mayaman si Kibuloy kaya ganyan kaya ang hustisya para lang sa mayaman. Hindi nga makakuha ng hustisya yung mayaman eh. Yun nga yung problem eh. Ang yaman-yaman ni Pastor Kibuloy, binabalahura pa rin yung karapatan niya. Hindi ka ba kinakabahan nun, Brian?
Correct.
Si Pastor Kibuloy, meron na siyang magaling na lawyer, pero binabastos pa rin siya ng kagaya nila Ed Linga.
Pati yung iba niya binabastos. At saka yung 7 million na followers niya binabastos.
Correct. Diba?
And this is in general public. And yun yung chat ko kanina, sabi ko, nakakatakot. This is done before the eyes of millions of billions around the world. And ang masakit nito, Sir EB, ako kasi proponent ako sa kilos na agad eh. Hindi ako, diyan kami medyo laging nag-aanuhan ni Joey sabi niya sa akin, be patient, Tita Aids. But proponent kasi ako ng parang for us to stand by and do nothing is tolerating what is happening. And, it only takes good people for evil to keep flourishing. Para tayong nilinervyos na ako pag ganito, nagigigil kasi ako. Pag pinabayaan natin, we let it stand by, we are tolerating it and we're giving it a thumbs up. So pero I do agree na maraming masyadong nangyayari. Just recently, Davao again was persecuted, DSWD funds all gone. and only Davao, of course. And then, kawawa naman masyado apektado yung Davao just for this political war that's going on.
Oo.
And
Mm.
then, yung
Exactly.
mga, di ba, yung soldier, ay, yung mga na-relieve na mga kapulisan yata doon. This is
Mm.
obviously persecution. And
Yes.
how long? My question remains, Joey, is ano bang PC natin? Anli ba ang
Yeah, yeah,
PC
yeah.
natin?
I perfectly understand, Tita It's. I'm starting to ask questions like that. Like,
Well,
hanggang
I've been asking
saan
the
ba
same
natin
question.
titiisin to, di ba? Parang tangina.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, yung nag-a-unfold na ganito, no? Wala nang rumirespeto sa batas. Pinaglalaruan na yung mga pulis. And
Pati
you know,
mga sundalo, mga
mga
Navy.
sundalo, pinaglalaruan na.
Tapos manood tayo sa television, 10 million naman, o yung bounty nga, which is our topic for today. It's like, these are just thugs, no? Thugs na nagro-roll sa society natin. Offering 10 million to find somebody that they really, really want to put down.
Right.
And bakit sabi ko may bounty na? Pwede yan, legally, if it's a bounty. But this is like, pwede siguro kung missing person pa yan na may mag-o-offer, may mag-a-assist,
Yung reward.
magagamit ako
Right.
para,
Right.
pero yung bounty na siya, for this, you are also obviously ridiculing and insulting yung
The
brave
police.
utak ba ng mga mamamayan na akala nyo, ipagkakanulo nila yan? I mean, this, yeah.
And if I may cut you off, Tita Isa, also
Go
the
po.
police. Because offering a bounty is an admission na hindi kaya ng mga police.
But they are incompetent, right?
That they are incompetent.
Totoo.
But we'll see. It could be yun nga yung all of their actions, they do not make sense at all in a
It
government.
doesn't. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
really.
make sense. This
It doesn't.
is a government of thugs na parang pwede lang yan yung mga ano ba, yung mga mafia at mga gang. Pwede ginagawa nila sa gang pero not in a well structured government that has been operating for hundreds of years. What's happening? And we are allowing it by just being spectator. O sige, nag-uusap-usap tayo. Right? We're even going as far as the Maisog and all other countries. But at the end of the day, it's getting worse by the day. And our tolerance, again, masyadong, inaano natin, gaya na sinabi natin before, tinetest nila hanggang saan ba yung hangganan natin.
Yes.
We were
they are.
hoping for a July something. Something big would happen in July. I'm starting to think that it's happening too slowly because malapit na naman ang end of July. So, are we just waiting for something that we thought could happen because it's a possibility, or we'll have to endure the next 4 years? I mean, at least the next year.
Well, I've been saying this, no, revolutions don't happen overnight. It's no. In fact, when you look back our history, yung people power nga sa EDSA, August 1983, pinaslang si Ninoy. EDSA people power happened only in February of 2006. 1986. So that's almost 3 years ang lumipas, no? Bago nag-EDSA, from the trigger, which was the assassination of Ninoy Aquino, and then eventually nga yung snap elections, tapos, so I'm not saying now it's the same scenario in 1983 to 86 as we have now, because I think it's far more worse. But then it's a different ball game right now, and we'll just see, because people who matter are really the people who need to move and to act. We are just here to support and raise those voices more loudly.
Agree.
Yeah.
Sir, yesterday, last night, I watched an interview. It was probably uploaded earlier kesa napanood ko kasi yung time zone namin iba. So it was the interview of Amy Marcos. I think you've seen it now with Doc Willie, regarding how the story of how Bongbong Marcos became the president instead of vice president. If you would watch that and review it, it was very revealing.
I will.
So it was very revealing. Kinuwento with no holds barred ni Amy Marcos
Ganun ba?
how niligawan talaga nila because everybody was auditioning to become a part of the Duterte slate. And Amy actually dragged Bong to the birthday party of Sara and said, baka naman pwede si Bongbong. Pwede ka maging vice president ni Bongbong. Some sort, ganun yung kwento, because Bongbong came from a loss. No, baka pwede ka maging president and vice president si Bongbong because he came
Mhm.
from a loss and this was
Mm.
their last futile attempt to get
Mm.
Bongbong back on track.
Mm.
And Sara said, I don't want to run for presidency, just go ahead and run. So several talks daw to convince Sara,
Mhm.
and this was on record. So patay na lahat yung mga narratives ng mga ensaymada and everyone
Mm.
else claiming that it
Mm.
was Sara who benefited from Bongbong's candidacy. So why am I saying this? Bongbong obviously did not have the desire nor the capability to run for presidency. Sasakay
Right.
lang talaga siya eh.
Right.
Mm.
So
Right.
which begs the question, we are in the same boat as President Biden of the US. Who is running the goddamn country?
Exactly.
Who is running
And
the country?
might as well throw in the same boat President Zelensky of Ukraine.
Yes, in the same manner. What's happening? Like who if we don't know who's running the country, then why are we just sitting down and tolerating everything? Ang gusto lang naman natin is transparency. Who makes these policy decisions? Right?
Who's
What
calling the
makes it
shots now, 'di ba? Who's calling the
yeah.
shots now? It's very clear, no? Pati rin dun sa ano no, sa libro ni that's why Attorney Vic was should I say he was defeated in the palace. Kasi sa libro ni Attorney Vic, ang kwento niya dun kasi, ang stand niya all along is that my boss is Bongbong, I'm going to follow Bongbong. But the people around BBM is the one pressuring BBM to decide a certain way. Until na na figure out nito nila Lisa, nila Tambi na okay, so since pinapadaan lahat ni Bongbong kay Vic, we have to remove Vic. And they were successful in doing so. So basically, ano siya talagang klaro na the one who's calling the shot in Malacanang is not BBM. But it doesn't mean Bongbong na hindi ka namin sisingilin dito. In fact, ikaw talagang sinisingil namin dito.
Well,
Diba?
the buck always stops from Bongbong in Bongbong's lap.
Yes.
Which reminds me, Joey, before I forget, di ba pinag-usapan natin ni Sasnik at saka ni Direk Daryl yung title na Kingmaker? And then sabi nga nung author daw na when you finish reading the book, you will know the reason why it was titled Kingmaker, no? I would agree, no? Na tama siya, no? It should have been Kingmakers, no? Plural. Because I don't know if I'm authorized to reveal it. No?
Wala pa kaming books.
Parang book review lang naman ito, no? So parang gano'n na. So in order for you to know bakit yung ganyan yung title, no? So dapat basahin niyo yung libro, which is very interesting, and I agree with Joey, no? Na even doon sa libro nga ni Attorney Vic, makikita mo talaga, no? So everything now is falling into place, no? Ang mga naratibo, yung mga isiniwalat ni Maharlika, yung mga isiniwalat ni
It's coming together.
Yeah,
it's coming together.
We are starting to hem all those things together, and you can now paint a big picture, no? And then you have all these you have all these yung mga letters, no, from the AFP, no, na it's Gibo who is running the strategy in the West Philippine Sea without the knowledge of Bongbong Marcos. So now nakikita mo na talaga na no one in government is actually sitting down and commanding the entire ship, the Philippines, which is the country. Wala. Everybody is
na-imagine ko nga yung
the same
different
direction.
Na-imagine ko nga yung yung conversation dito sa, di ba 3 beses nagpalit ng PNP chief sa Davao. 3 beses. Sabi ni Bongbong, ay, kailangan nating palitan yung kasi hi, Direk! Hello! This government is on autopilot. Yun, sabi.
Going to where, Direk? Wala tayong direct.
Going to where? Saan yung destination? Ang destination is i-defrost yung frozen fruits and vegetables. Autopilot leading to the unfreezing of frozen fruits and vegetables. Buisit, nakakaasar. Na-imagine ko lang yung conversation, kuya, parang, ay, ang tawag dito? Ano na natin yan? Kasi, kailangan na para makakilos tayo ng mabuti sa Davao. Kailangan, palitan na natin yung mga tao dyan. Sige, give me the sagot ngayon tong si Lisa, consider it done. Consider it done. Ganyan. Okay, PNP chief, who's the PNP chief na yun?
Marbil.
PNP chief Marbil, get me the best and the brightest policemen that can be transferred to Davao. Yung magagaling, yung mga ano talaga. Bigyan mo ako ng mga listahan, yun ang ililipat natin sa Davao. Okay, ma'am. Ito po ang listahan. Tapos binigay yung listahan. So nandun sila Lito Patay, sila ano, yung mga
Butil, yeah.
sila Butil, ganyan-ganyan. Hindi, di ba si Lito Patay muna eh? Di ba siya yung unang
Patay
nilagay
muna.
doon? Nilagay doon. So paglagay sa kanya doon, yan ma'am, magaling talaga yan. Sige po, ano ganyan. Okay, sige, lagay na natin yan. I-transfer na natin doon. Pagkatapos nung naglagay na nila, nung nakita nila, ay, si Lito Patay, ay, ito pala yung binitbit ni PRRD para sa war on drugs. Magaling pala to! Hindi ganong galing ang tinutukoy ko! Palitan yan! Magaling pala yan sa mga anti-drugs operation. Hindi ganong galing ang tinutukoy ko! Not that! Ganon.
Tapos si Butil, ano nangyari? Bakit?
May Davao roots din si Butil eh.
Ha?
May Davao roots din si Butil.
May Davao roots din.
Oh, may Davao roots din siya.
Yung
I'm not so sure is part of the yung parang squad na binuo. Yung parang anti-drug emen. Kasi remember, when PRRD won as president, isa sa mga unang-unang ginawa niya, yung mga magagaling na pulis sa Davao at sa Mindanao, yun yung inilipat niya sa Maynila.
Yes.
Tapos, yung mga mga pulis na merong mga
patola.
or whatever, ganyan-ganyan. Yung kapag hindi ka katiwa-tiwala, pinapatapon ka sa Mindanao.
Hulo, basilan.
Oo. Pinapatapon ka sa... Di ba ganun yung ginawa ni PRRD noon?
Yes.
Ngayon, yung mga... Marami siyang mga pulis na nabitbit, pinagdadadala niya sa iba't ibang lugar. Kasama na si Putin. Si Patay.
Tapos, yung napipisilan daw ngayon na i-appoint, si Marantan. Marantan ba yun? If I remember, I don't know if this is the guy. Naalala mo yung parang may shootout o na rub out dun sa
Timonan.
Oh yes, sa Rizal. Yes. Tama.
Kasama siya doon.
Si Marantan.
Si Marantan. Okay. I think ang crucial dyan, kuya, yung may papagawa. Tapos pag tumatanggi, ayan. Ito. Noong una, ito yung pinalitan, si Colonel Sogilon. Pinalitan ni Lito Patay. 4 hours, 38 minutes. Pagkatapos pinalitan ni Butil. Nung tinanggal si Butil, ito pinalitan ni Marantan. So si Marantan ngayon yung sitting, yung incumbent OIC. Ang tingin ko ang crucial talaga dyan yung may ipapagawa. Pwede ka ba sa ganito? Ay, hindi po ma'am.
O kaya mahilig ka ba sa concert? Marunong ka bang kumanta?
Ano yung si Marantan? Parang tauhan niya ni Ping Lacson eh.
Oo. Talaga ba? Ayun. Anyway, oo. Marcos Aquino, ano bang kaganapan dyan sa Davao?
Diyos ko, madam. Parang kaming nasa episode ng Maumaling ngayong kahapon.
Uy, kumusta ang bilis sa inyo?
Oy, Marcos Aquino, bago sa Davao, Joey, narate ko muna tong bad experience ng daughter ko dyan sa airport sa Cebu.
Sige,
sir.
Isang Amerikano.